What's up everybody, welcome back to Mohawk Motors. My name is Jason. Today I'm going to be showing you 3 easy methods to remove broken off exhaust manifold bolts. If you remember a little while ago, I put up a video of being at the junkyard and pulling some cylinder heads off. I have these heads right here. Now, I haven't done anything with them since I brought them back from the junkyard. I literally took them out of the bed of my truck, sat them on the floor in the garage, and that's where they've been ever since then. And I'm in this process of accumulating parts for my next build project. So these heads are going to go onto the engine for the next build. And you can see here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 broken off exhaust manifold bolts. Now I'm lucky. All 4 of them broke off the head of the bolt, so there's still a good chunk sticking out of the cylinder head. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to get these broken off exhaust manifold bolts out. It's a super common issue with these engines, the 4.8, the 5.3, and the 6-liter engines. So if you're doing any kind of maintenance, if you've had one for any length of time, I'm sure you've seen this, I'm sure you've dealt with this. You can do this at home, and it can save you a lot of money, and especially if you use some of the tricks I'm going to show you today. Now, all of these tricks will work in the vehicle or out of the vehicle. I'm just lucky enough that they're on the workbench here where it's easy to get access to. Wherever you're doing this, get as much other stuff out of your way as possible. So get the exhaust manifold out of your way, get the spark plug wires out of your way. I'm going to pull the spark plugs out, get as much stuff out of the way so you actually have some room to work as you can. Now, on both heads, the 2 rearmost bolts are the ones that broke off. On the driver's side head, there's not really anything else there. On the passenger side head, there's a plug here. So I'm going to get that plug pulled out also, so I have more room to work on this broken off bolt. So the first method requires the least tools, but the most luck. And that is just a pair of vice grips. So you take your vice grips, try to find vice grips that still have good teeth in them. Get them nice and tight, clamped onto that bolt, and then loosen it off. There we go. And that one is spinning. Now as you're doing this, it does help if you rock back and forth a little bit as you back that bolt out. And there we go. First stud removed. The second method to get these broken off bolts out, as long as you have some protrusion, is with a set of bolt extractors. I have these. Now, this also requires a good bit of luck, and it doesn't always work, mainly because these only come in certain sizes, and if there's not one that grips that broken off bolt well enough, it's just going to spin on you. So you place it over, give it a few taps to get the little teeth engaged, and then try your wrench. And unfortunately for me, this method isn't going to work on this one. The extractor that I have is not, I don't have one close enough to this size to get a good grip. The next method I'm going to show you is actually my favorite, but you need more tools. In order to do it this way, you need a welder. But I've never had this fail. I've gotten all kinds of super stuck bolts and studs and things out using this. So usually 99% of the time, I just go straight to this method. I don't even mess around with the other options. So like any time you're going to weld, you need to have a good ground. I find that sticking my ground clamp into an exhaust port And wiggling a little bit usually gives me a good ground. I keep all kinds of old nuts laying around. It really doesn't matter. You just need a nut that you have the right size socket for, and it needs to fit over the broken off bolt. So I'm gonna do one with the bolt still poking out. I can just sit my nut over it and do my weld. And I'll do the next one, I'll actually cut it off flush to the head and show you how to do it that way also. Okay, so make sure you have your socket or your wrench ready to go. Don't be afraid to get it hot. We're dealing with a stuck bolt here, so heat is your friend. You want to get a nice good weld onto that broken off bolt. There we go, turns right out. There you have it. Okay, so we've got that bolt cut off flush with the head. You can see here, flat with the head, nothing sticking out. I have them break off like this sometimes when I get them too. It's not a big deal if you have a welder. We've got our bolt here at the end that we cut off flush with the head. I'm gonna use my welder to just build up a little bit more metal on the end of the bolt. Here we go, I've got a nice little nub sticking off of there. Now, just like before, when the bolt was sticking out, I'm gonna sit my nut over it. Knock these little schmutz bubbles off of there. There we go. Now I'm gonna try to do a nice hot weld. I'm gonna let that cool off a little bit, and then we'll see if it'll turn out. No, okay, it's not glowing. Feels like it's turning. Got a little tight, let's go back the other way. And there we go. Our last broken off exhaust manifold bolt removed. The nice thing, and people get concerned, and I've had people ask me, will welding to that bolt mess up the head? No, it won't. The head is aluminum, so your MIG weld isn't going to stick to it when you're welding steel. And as you back the bolt out, the threads will fix everything behind them. So you should have a nice threaded, no issues hole when you use this method. And there we go. Now we've got 6 nice, clean, ready to go bolt holes on this head. 6 nice, clean, ready to go bolt holes on this head. I'm gonna put my little plug back in here just so I don't lose it. But for now, those are just waiting to be cleaned, and I'll lap and reseal the valves before I put it in on the next engine. Speaking of engines, This is the engine those heads are going to be going onto. It's an iron block 6-liter. It has iron heads on it now, so I don't know what it originally came out of. I'm thinking an early 2500 truck, like a 99 or early 2000. But it's got good oil pressure, it runs good. We're gonna put our aluminum heads onto it to help keep it cool, because we're gonna be trying to make a lot of power with this engine. I'm gonna show you every step of that build, the engine itself, the heads getting refurbished. I'm doing all of it here in the garage. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to learn more about these engines, how to do this stuff at home on your own. And I think it's going to be a really fun project. I'm not ready to tell you what it's going into yet, but I will tell you I've wanted one since they came out, and it's going to be a 5-speed. So stay tuned. Well, that's it for this video, everybody. We've got the hard part, the broken off bolt extraction done, the spark plug removal done. So these heads are gonna hang out here until I get more parts accumulated. I know I'm gonna be doing a cam, valve train, lifters, springs, valve seals, all of that stuff on the engine that this goes onto. So as I get those parts ordered, like I said, I'll make more videos showing you how I do each step of that engine build process. But that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you find this helpful. If you liked this video and you want to see more videos like it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It helps me out and it'll make sure that you see every video we go up. But until next time, take care and thanks again for watching.